Today I'm going to basically continue from the last tutorial I did. This was what I did the last time, just created this front-end user interface for login. Today we're going to implement more things, more like the other time when I finished the last tutorial, there wasn't any way you could show your password when you put in your password, just to check if the password you imputed was the correct password or not. Also, there was we didn't implement a function that makes that when you click on every page to impute data, the keyboard is going to show on the screen, and it's going to push all the content upwards so that the keyboard can sit underneath all the content. We didn't do that, and also we didn't create a new page for create account. Should you want to, maybe you don't have an account and you want to create an account, so when you click the create account text, it will take you to the page where you can put in your credentials, your informations, and you create an account with this application. So I'm going to demonstrate what I just talked about right now. Take for instance, when you want to put in your username, once you click, you can see that the whole content of the screen went up, and you have your keyboard on it, and also the text the text at the top changed to sign into your account. Prior to that, it was just hello, welcome back again. So once you click on this, it says sign into your account, and still the same, sign into your account, right? So I'm gonna show you how that was implemented, and also when you click away, it takes back the keyboard and the whole page goes back to the way it was before. And when you put in your password, you can actually make it show and make it hide. Like take for instance, there's a password now we have here. If we want to make it show, once you click on this show, it shows your password, and when you hide it, it hides it. I'm going to show you how that I did that also. And another thing I implemented again is when you click on this text, well, like I said, it takes you to the new page where you can put in your information. I'm going to show you everything today. I'm going to start from where I ended, so you can see all the things that we did. But what we're not going to touch in this tutorial today is how when you put in your data, it's stored in the database, right? We're going to do that in the next tutorial, because I don't want to encroach this tutorial in too much that there was too much information in it, and you're unable to get the information you desire to get, and also the video is just merely useless. So I don't want to put in too much information, just want to go gradually. So this is a series, this is a React Native Series 2. So on our Series 3, we're going to talk about how we implemented the backend database and where our information is being stored using Firebase. So let's get right to it. Now I'm going to clear all the things I've added to it so that we can start from where we ended. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, so that you can notice, is the last video on our hub.js. We don't have all this navigation and all that, so I'm going to take it back to the way it was before. So, or maybe let me just explain so that we don't waste time on that. Let me just explain what I did here. So what I did basically is that, well, this old page was inside of this app.js before, so I lifted it and I made it, and I put it in a composition called login. So I have it right here. These are all the informations that we had before on this page. All the informations you see here, these are the source code for it, So that is that. So what I did is I put everything in a composition called login, and I brought in the composition here as import. So this is how to link to, this is the path to that composition. Also sign up page, which is the create account page, which is what I use for the sign up page. So now what I did basically is I used navigation to stack these pages. The first is home page, right, which contains the login details, and the second page will be sign up page. That is where you sign up if you're the first user for the app. That is where you put in your information, and it goes to the database, so that when we come to the login page and we put in those information, Firebase is going to authenticate, and it's going to check if this user has already signed up to this account. If otherwise, it's going to give you an information that, oh, this user hasn't been signed up before, so you may have to go to create account to sign up so that you can use this application. But that is going to be covered in the third series. Okay, so navigation, it's basically you install it, you npm. Let me just go to the website to show you how to set up navigation and set up stack. So let's say we google navigation. So when you come here, you see the documentation, which this is the documentation right here. But what basically I do is just go to get started. So it will tell you what and what you need to do. So all you need to do is just copy this code and run it in your, or if you're using yarn, you can use yarn. If you're using npm, you can copy this code and you run it on your timeline, on your terminal rather. You run it here, or you open a separate terminal and run it whichever way you want. So you run it here. But basically, what I always do is that I don't always like to stop my app running, right? So I just make a new terminal and I run it here. Just paste it to npm install React navigation / native. But when you reinstall that, also you have to do this here since you're already here. So just go to stack. Just do the stack. So stack Navigator, and also it gives you how to install it. So when you install this, you copy this link, this line of code, you run it on your terminal, and once you run it on your terminal, one more thing you need to do for stack is you have to declare stack. You have to make it a new. You have to that because you are bringing in create stack navigator into your application from React Navigator / stack rather. So you have to declare a variable called stack and equate it to this create stack navigator. So basically you call the function and that is it. So instead of you writing this whole long word, all you need to do is just write the stack. So which is what we do. First and foremost, you have to wrap all the app in navigation container. After next is stack.navigator, which is what you now use to stack your pages, right? So the first is you have to declare the initial root name, which is home. So make sure that the name you declare here is equal to the name you give to the first page, okay, in your stack. So initial, there's all screen option. These are optionals. You can decide to set all this or just do. You can decide to do without it. Like you can see, I don't need this, so I just took it out. So I don't need also this, so because I only use one background for everything, right? So you have header align center. You want to align everything to center, you know, in case we have header. Because if I change all this to true, take rest and I change this to true, and I change this to, you see, you have it here, right? You have the name showing, but I don't want it, right? So I make it false. So I have that. So basically that's it. And the header title style, font size, since we don't want it, since we're not even using it, so I can also get rid of all these ones. But I mean, what happened? Well, who knows? We may want to change and have it, maybe give a name to it so that people that sees it, they will know that, okay, this is the home page, the login page is the home page, and the second page, you know. But really, it's optional. We can decide to do it or not to do it. So that is how I set a stack up, and that's all for this page. So now we are using components here. We're not just putting all the lines of code, which is going to make our code, this page longer. Now we've shortened this page to just this what you're seeing on the screen. Otherwise you're going to have to be scrolling down. So we're done with that, right? So the login page, let's go to the login page because that's where we're going to have some implementation we need to do now. So the first thing we need to do here, for what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to clear the new things I just added to the application so that we can do it together, so that you can see how I did everything from start to finish. So Basically just I'm just gonna speed it up now. So now I'm gonna show you how. Let's start with the keyboard. Let's start with the keyboard. So we're gonna do it this way. There's something called keyboard avoid view. We're gonna wrap the whole content inside of the keyboard avoid view. It's from React Native. You see, we're gonna wrap everything. So let me just list this part. Let me cut it out and go to the last here and bring it like this. So we have it this way. Don't worry, we're gonna fix that. It's very simple. To fix that is very simple. We're gonna give it a style. We're gonna give it a style. We're gonna style it so that it can look better. So we're gonna give it a style. Styles dot content container keyboard. Okay. You see? So in the style container keyboard, we already have it. This is it. We already said flex is 1 and justify content space evenly. You understand? So that is what we gave it. So after that, we're gonna have something else again, which is there's something called behavior. How you want this to behave, which is when you click on the parts of the input, you want the whole text to be shifted upwards and the keyboard shows beneath, right? So we're gonna say we're gonna use the word the property called behavior, and we're gonna equate it to this expression. We're gonna equate it to this expression.os, platform.os, and we equate it to iOS, right? And you say if that is true, then do this. Gives me a padding, you know, and if it's not true, use a height. Nothing breaks, right? So that means our code is working. And the next thing we need to do right now is keyboard vertical offset. This is only going to offset the page vertically based on the dimension we give. Now, keyboard vertical offset, I already created that dimension I want to give it in my constants, which is here, because I don't want to write this expression over there. So it's easier this way. So I exported only this variable name so I can use it, because I may probably be using it in other pages that I have to impute one or two things, right? Some data. So since I'm going to use it, I'm going to reuse it. Why don't I just put it in a composition and I can always reuse it that way? So which is what I did. So here I'm going to equate this to basically keyboard vertical offset. That was the name I gave to it, and I already imported it already. You see, imported it here. So I save. So now what next am I supposed to do? Yeah, nothing. So if we test it now, we're going to see what's going to happen. So you have to make it you see, so it's working perfectly. But now if we click out, nothing works, right? It's not going back to the initial state. So what we need to use to do that is touchable without feedback. So what we're going to do, we're going to wrap, like I said, we're going to wrap the whole content with that too, but that will be after the keyboard avoiding view. So we're gonna put it here. So we're gonna be touchable without feedback. The reason why we're using touchable without feedback is because we don't want a feedback. We don't want touchable sparsity. We don't want anything to. We don't want to make anything visible, like, you know, like when you use touchable without touchable opacity. You see this function that it gives you. We don't want anything to show when you do it. We don't want any functionality, any style, any animation, anything. We just want It just give us what we want without a feedback, you know. So and inside of it, we're going to create a function on press. We're going to create an on press